Mami mo akwa ba bio msai enjo wa Fawumra Onia TV. Ene eye edwada na mami makacho se na me ne no efi ukuada besi enra no me yusu enra ne sa nti ene na ye bibisa ti da mam kwam nim so akra mpacho amenem nso kakra na eja na me teso na enika sama won say makacho so onia a national project onia no sorry anye niam bahad o nti wudi ya chi a wo se Ghana no nko a na ye dwene ho na no nyame aye adom me wo panin kase pa ba ko e wo Ghana ha o menchen o studio ha ya na mame mo kase se ya anya careful galam se no enjai asa na me introduce me panin no the vice president say obogalam say fo nyina baso na o hye omo bo say ono obedi president a on hye galam say for excavator on chinso obia excavator said ye be ya mo betimi aye adwuma no aye ne yi se ya me no kase ya o man ye bre a kidney yare atese no we any promiser your vice president edema no problem Kama group one penny pa odano papa ne say obre na me nya video no over the weekend no na me hwede na me say hey enti openi Michael Ejekum ni or the biggest ever pharmaceutical company the whole of West Africa ne de na so is Ghana or say yes banks ni ye good banks no to the sika kwahye besi ne intwianeka tisa aban ni katra o say bank de gugu ye no watua sika na esa otiase papa yi onyo bi asabi eburu sabi enya ado oye kwahwe aban bi keke na wasore ya se oma ne ho kwan na wasore ya akasa keke na chese asem no wa atokodo asem wa atokodo pa ti de yesre ne se ema obi aso mfa ne nkosi ne hu oma wo ka no kura wanya kokoduro te se Captain Smarta ye beta atausa the assessor ye na factory to be ye adwuma na Ghana mebunu ye adwuma ye no yenyo ame fa no nsia na memma openi Daniel Yao Domelevo former Auditor General akwaba
yeah
bibi abokode
nyame adom na ozo
me eja kakaka me hu one on one say ache
pa Nigga men campo si yeshada yeshapen
yeshia is it at Lisa Hotel maybe
no correct
that was 2001
yeah there about
yeah 2001 and yeshia we audit bi book kese bi anaba o me bo abaso no
that 2018
that was 2018 rather 2018. Okay na yeshia na bibia boko
nyame adom
Mate Daniel Yao Domelevo, but minya daji mbisa who actually you are. Tell me about yourself.
As a way the go school not myself. Well, open any say Daniel Yao Domelevo. Unim baby a friend from place.
Utra
for a person no drados
utra pantu so akohoda
yes
Croupon campaign
okay Croupon wo your friend Donko Krum yes we do one ma utra base 1.5 kilometers Krubi or your friend Diemra hona obranesha ase me ko school na sefo na sa ekrokitwa no ni di enye popular nso mpanyefo pa produce amanfo nim
sa
unim lawyer Kwamijan
land expert no
lawyer no 1 year classmate 1 year behind me
okay
the bishop kra ofri the same adiamra mpanyefo bebre we call land economy University of Ghana head now Dr. Kwamboati of the Sakura Nase. Ndi yakura bia ho onfa so pa. Ndi ye a friend senior friend Saito as a middle school 77 mu china me ye emergency metwa so. Me kaisa me ko pass say me ko pay admission.
Pass na ye
price secondary school pass. Yes, ni short year pass. In call so 5 years me say that me near that year me go school 5 years. Tell me through na me ba school be ufri impasse e ba kroma school ki to be o friend McJan's Business College Commercial College.
Okay.
And me call her me di 1 year me say school here me say enye me honye enu me free on bank kokko ufri enko u konko konso na utra enko secondary school Eko krum lorry park bi ewo benkum so wono kwan bi da nifa eko school bi afre no Mokoko Modern College of Commerce
if I say Mokoko Modern College of Commerce
Mokoko and so me call 1 year me call so there we has so me ho shere nyi na me koku ase aboabo uye duru na about no and so na school bi e sheche we friend Gardens D Commercial College Gadeko me call Gadeko me through her na me ba K-Poly Kumasi Polytechnic and me baba ye me even RSA stage 3 any O level
okay
and to me no 87 na me samba Polytechnic na and am bebe to aso se me ye ICA me ye accountant and me start me share accountancy training na say me dey na me ponko pentemunti no me be ha me for procedure
we are in temtem
ndia me kaja mo se me kokko in school ntanko me fa roadside me ka say 78 no that be 87 sorry 87 ye rule ya anche be say a year na oma di enim no kokko ye on exams na me so maybe say now first year among for second year kura mu so na first year so metro and I'm go through me go through exams gram me late we got to no dem go different place dim the call exams council results by best student award Ghana first year and me we interno and I'm a register friends UPS certain friend IPS me say me twaso so na me chira de okumase eba school ankran now I'm from a visiting student say only visiting lecturers
visiting student
now I'm from visiting student because weekend me ba Friday ma ba copy notes na me de ko na me kom kumase me ko tra ma de chire ni adesiano so weekend ma san ba you go try exam no pass one knows me copy as no ma feli don't say go kura idea sebudi
wow
me de sana nyame ncha de me qualify 1992 in 1992 na me qualify as a chartered accountant 91 no ansana me qualify no ye from ejum ini me biade me course me go ejuma
David
Ghana Films here TV3
here
na me office edana work kwa hono first floor na one na me office Chris Hesse Dr. Chris Hesse any entry auntie Victor auntie na say for that time na your Ghana Films na my friend TV3 na say for but now me a staff of Accountant General ntimi ejuma wa Accountant General ko si 2009 and World Bank ejuma bi PM na me apply no mo fa me e de me ko share Zimbabwe timi share Zimbabwe eni Malawi na me support Zambia na se forsa na 2016 ni appointed me as Auditor General he appointed me so na they do krom na me tero de so am say e dey asem ni ebi say mama lose election o go fa ni nyonko ase ni nua ase den e dey na ban na say form say okay titsana anadwumen adana ye man appointments adana na me san e call back enyumre na maba holidays entina me return ticket to me call airport na me kitam bag me bisa mo say menya kwan na on say I wait me change new ticket me change ticket
back to Zimbabwe
manko Zimbabwe ko Malawi na me support Zimbabwe ni Malawi enti me ko Malawi ti omo frɛ me akwa no enia
and today na Mahama Bo din sabe Auditor General no that day no Malawi.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Oh, so what I heard was correct.
Yes. Okay. Na me bo me ketem ko because na no mamienu bi e wo madwenem no mamienu me ka chance ni di kan ene se sebe na me edwuma ma World Bank enye fese on beti on radio so se makoye Auditor General mra means resign enye professional ndine ezemeko ekokoji permission na me resign unse edwuma so wunnya ni de dia why you say who pay free with them
it one ne Mahama ndwene hu
dabi enti o me ka kire Dennis Debra Julius Debra yeah to me ka kire say ezemeko na emo mi godu ansa na me frɛ no mom ma frɛ no Ghana me say aban say de o si on ma no atele bi aga say stop no me ma ne
nko
to me godu ansa na me frɛ say ese me give permission na me resign properly because now I was in charge of projects debris Zimbabwe na se for na enti me yes ano na me ji say well ban obeka say o be hia be na otwe na say bosome me do go say congratulations say your people need you and your call this is say okay me da say na ka no mano ba ko say me ga just no mamienu second one so na madwumi am tanta kakra because nipa waluzu election na otwe na ukode meaning say constitutionally there or start to me so the incoming administration can be very difficult to be obetuma ga say okay say your power na say we so be adwuma de trauna resources are be adwuma no ye mfa ma omu o ma no nka so ebeding enti me nim kwa mo fa so etiye na mati opoku prempe so ni napo oh mi yonko pa no ofre me bro me so friend no bro mi yonko napo minen di dada ye bisa no ansa no be minister na minim ni dada kufoa by munna na me wakantanjena no ba me office almost every now and then me so kura na me in office or near Parliament House osumo baby ya me kono and of frame me siminua matezi ya appoint do Auditor General wo so weni em say na say me dwene ho na me ntimi hu say mo amu be munim be adwuma na say yenye no so ye no be adwuma me na pominim so ye bibi ni so enye wo na wa wini presidency no ya kufu ado enye wo no so you ate na ukumase anwumre na no ofa play no ba nkran napo
wow
osan frame me anwumre anajo na me won Malawi say hold on for the president elect no the phone ma na kufu ado e ka kire me say congratulations so oh wow win election who congratulate me who na congratulations me dey my win
eti wo Mahama Bo wudi na wuja hoko Malawi no
yeah
ena napo frɛ na napo fa flight fi Kumasi bank ena obe wana nado anim no de ono ni phone
man nado tinanado ba so no ka kire me say congratulations me say wo so kan wo na congratulations na ye ode na me de me win hwe no so what say yes me go ye Auditor General na me say me sheda enyintum wow because of ebia omuba ombe ha me na asefo nti na ohye me boss me nkonkoje na we bisa na ne nkrofo kire ne say to use his words so say I'm told you can do the work with your eyes closed
san nanado ka kire
nanado uno ka kire me nti
debio His Excellency the President
yes then the president elect yes
told you I'm
told you can do this work with your eyes closed so go and take it into some bar and I say when we come to office we will sit down and see how we can work together because fighting corruption is very key on my agenda.
Okay.
Now, yeah, can Yamianim no crane. Yes, sir, into office. The following week, I know frame me to a meeting. Some meeting na Napo hobby. Asanti bedia to no hobby. Na Nando, nearly part 4. Na a discussion or say that. It is a say
Mahama Bowding, but Nana na swear in.
Debbie, Mama na swear me in.
Okay,
Mama, because me somebody, me buy, say, me tea, say, your opinion, say, on him be man. And say, okay, and remember. Until me buy now, you swear me in.
Bium.
Debbie, okay. Yeah, bomb.
Okay. What by the Mahama?
Appointment is different from swearing.
Okay.
And me jail letter any appointment.
Okay.
Now, Obeko office, I swear, say you want to take the position per provisions of the Constitution.
That's right.
In the year and we and can say Oba office nanche. Me say the following week I'm from ye shisha na ye normal tutu akwam. Ntina ye nyongo pa no be masem na msumi panasem because na minim say you be a ni abrese
Oba fighting corruption.
Exactly. Because me o Malawi kura me ka chere me nkrofo say give Ghana 4 years we will be above all African countries. Because you can say if you hear the president elect some of his words. 1, I will protect the public purse. 2, okay.
I'll protect the public purse.
2, if you want to make money, go to the private sector.
This
is not where you don't make money in the public sector. Public service is what it should be. And 3, family and friends. No.
Okay.
You say, this man will be very objective. And 4th one, Anas principle.
Okay.
Now I was following Anas, so you say, oh no. If somebody gives this undertaking, then I think he's serious. So I'm going to help. She says, okay, the first reporter, me now who can
I don't ever come once someone
disallow 5.4 billion. Yes. Oh, na Nyaje. Okay, and also more pair. Go on the internet. State of the Nation Address 2018. He commended the Auditor General.
That's right, I mentioned your name.
And Independence Address, 6 March 2018. Again, he mentioned that it can help him to do the free HS and do roads and whatnot, etc. And now, no man now come on. Because Kaise Sabrino. Now the audit was about the previous period, which is Mahama administration. Now we audit Mahama administration. Now, I tell you, museum say, hey. Say the very edging we. Say do ni tema. The people say me who sana, but na me see yesha. Tie call 2018 ka krana afede bullets ni starting ba ni territory so that we over haji. And that is the journey and nyame ncha de drew 2020 or say minko leave na ehono nsem bebre. Na unimzane o Supreme Court. Asafu mafu case no. Crew and associate na o Supreme Court. Na another one Zoom Lion. Na no say very hot. Zoom Lions me say charging no 411 million.
Hey.
Yes. Oh yeah Google no.
Zoom Lion yeah.
Zoom yeah. E mani appeal at the High Court. No lose case no. No ma na omu yeah appeal at the Court of Appeal. Omu Court of Appeal no. Interestingly, they decided not to challenge the ruling but challenge the original jurisdiction of the Auditor General. Say Auditor
General. Ghana Frontier say. Then about was charging Zoom Lion 411 million Ghana cedis.
Zoom Lion, no, in accordance with our audit process, no. Auditors who say year audit.
That's right.
And the information and as an intel we bring say who say district assemblies, together with this district assembly common fund, Zoom Lion car, say on your fumigation exercise.
Okay.
Until Umetia says cano. Now, the same exercise has been paid also by National Health Insurance Authority. And the just Umetia car 2 times.
It's just a National Health Insurance Authority. Etria Zoom Lion car.
Exactly.
As a binding so.
This is the assembly.
This is the assembly. So, Etria. It's a drama back on Koyeno. You try the
car twice.
Okay.
And I'm say, okay. Here say the entire fine Juma as auditors. Yani yepe evidence. Nti yebehwehwem. And I'm a commission audit.
Okay.
So audit no omu ye ni ombe to be able to frustrate that audit. We can Professor Duajimai. Aye, na nya asem keto.
Professor
Duajimai.
Former Auditor General.
Former Auditor General who should know better.
Frustrated you.
Papa me din ho ya papa.
Oh.
The frustration. At a point in time, grow friend me catch them say, or pese Yoko for a bed join me in a audit. No, Mr. Yoko, any Auditor General there. Say me bibina se me say it is criminally it has criminal implication. Now a bay here Yoko. Nam they are come on, but they can be part of the audit.
That's right.
Yes. And the and me too kind echo friends Rwanda. Nam yo Kigali. And one of my deputies, Ephraim, say, and Grofana Omoye audit no. Professor Duajimai, Ephraim say, Omunya audit now, in the office the following day.
Hey,
you say, hey,
Zoom Lion audit no.
Yes, and you Zoom Lion, National Health Insurance.
National Health Insurance.
Yes,
and it is
yes, near Persia share. What did they pay for? Okay. Near National Health Insurance. I'm so boy. I say, no credit. I'm saying, no credit, write me an email. Because audit there per audit.
Okay.
Na phone zui chinaobaga dimaka chemse da bi
Mankasa.
Ndio de chro me email. No, send me email. To send me email no. And I'm forward you code come do agent.
Open so.
The so I was here no mun so nan say. Eh me de come do agent. Say prof. I say me nim say nya no kre. Tell me that is not true. No respond yes no kre. Na one chief executive. I'm say a friend Dr. Yao or something like that. Dr. Yao I mean,
okay.
Yeah. Say Mure feeding so, but it seems Dr. Yao something like that. Because Mikaya no power because me Yao no know from Yao. Abba Behun say the audit is going very badly into he should intervene. I say now audit there. And one is your raise observations. Say sikawe you. Also there be scanning that has say here's the evidence. Now sir, assembly na some call. Nti audit call badly there anything. And me try to say you don't have that mandate. As a board chairman, you have no mandate for audits in the country. The board itself, Ghana for tears as me Obianko Article 189 of the Constitution. It doesn't give the board any mandate on audit. It has no mandate, not even a supervisory mandate. It doesn't have.
Okay.
The board mandate is clearly stated over there. But we call 187. That mandate is for only the Auditor General. Into one Constitution can say Ghana Audit Service should audit Ghana. It said the accounts of the central government, district, what not, etc., shall be audited by the Auditor General, not Audit Service. Into we call 188, which is the next one, and establish Ghana Audit Service. Okay. So there shall be Ghana Audit Service, which is part of the public service. Full stop. No mandate. But under the 187, which gives Auditor General some mandate, no, clause 3, actually say he can appoint or delegate to other people to do the work on his behalf. And the audit service now is a tool or a mechanism that the Auditor General uses to do his work. And not only even the audit service, at times to even outsource it to the private auditors. So you can use audit service or this thing. And to me, I can say, Ora, we are former Auditor General. To me, Ben original so. I will from the staff say, oh,
you called him?
Yes, no, I wrote it. It's written.
Okay.
And in and not throw memo to the board, the full board. Memo them will be me computers or cry. Still. Or throw memo to the board say he has received complaints from Yawano, who is the chief executive of Ghana Health Service. Say he should intervene in the audit. And when he tried, this is my response.
Intervene?
Yes.
Really?
And he attached the audit observations to it. I'm saying, audit observation is a very confidential document, and you are sharing it among the board members.
Do you still have a copy of that?
I can find it. Yes.
Look for it for me.
I can find it.
Look for it for me.
I decided because I was just about leaving to Ghana, and I'm by. Me drew a question. I mean, call. forgotten which TV station, either City or maybe Joy FM, one of them. You know, friend, me say there is an audit report which is in the public domain about national health insurance. And so, oh, now I'm a discussion. And so, yeah, audit I find issue report to cry. Audit process no. Team no issue observations. We are, then they bring it to the director or their head. Or no issue what we call the draft audit report or management letter. After the management letter, according to section 29 of the Audit Service Act, you have the draft, you have 30 days to respond to the issues. And sana Auditor General issue a report. Mr. Mikra draft, you can who in a band, send a copy of this. And I'm going to say, okay, to be sure that we are saying the same thing, what they have, they should send it to me. In Jomu forward, the memo which DIGMI had shared with the board, and Akupi Abonteno, because it has all the attachment and everything, and even acknowledgement from the Ghana Health Service, because when they receive the audit observation, they acknowledge it. You know, I'm saying, oh, okay. Tiaba board no, manfa muhancha okra. Board. Me kike bi chira omu. God say, look, you cannot be acting illegally in front of me. The law of Ghana is supreme. It doesn't matter who you are. This law guides everybody. Mandate more to even question me about the audit I'm doing away. Now, as long as you don't have that mandate, I'm continuing. Hey. And the issue is not going to be discussed. Hey. Until you transfer. Oh, yeah, woman to me and discuss. This issue is not for discussion. You can't discuss it.
Say a sick ira now, we should almost die.
Minyai. And now easy. And she be a Miss Bessie now trying now to me, you know. Satam now draft audit report now for the abedu maintain. Never my name. And I'm go Kumasi. We go Kumasi for a certain occasion. I don't know if you are crying in the Soren Temkakra. We do Kumasi now come to me. I don't know, come to me and Papa say. I'm saying, Uncle, says one friend, Lancaster hotels, those days, Golden Tulip. Uncle, hold the Omo buffet. So I can just go and take something and eat, then we go to the occasion. We would have Madame Fruma or Pare, she was sitting there, watching, looking towards the door. Timini any Asia, or Mammy San.
Chief of Staff.
Chief of Staff, Madame Fruma.
Tell me the story.
No, so you part the open dinner, say, well, I just will. Me bold, dear, he said, me mammy, so I say, hey, prepare me open the only, say, ah, Edenyamias and Edias, so he excused the people who were with us. No, say, young Casa, no, say, Matisse, you are working against us. I'm saying, no, so I said, just auntie, no, say, almost say, audit be a national health insurance, no, even though. We started from 2012 to 2018. And so focus in a year, just 2018. They just say you are looking at the current government, but not the previous. Let me see. Auntie William, baby. I mean, under the natural course of things, no. Me too, quite sana, mesan bad that day, no. Inka report income the bejefi, and as media and crime, me babaka. But me kita report, no. Me see free car mukrano. Me see free come now me the report not to car no. I'm say I'm sure na me policeman me driver go can report you.
No, sir, fuck
me go fire report. Nekita me. Na ekita. I'm say report ya wo kan has manti. Eni. Me yan issue here. I feel na me go through. Na mum to prove the point no. Wo dey share just the summary. Me the summary ne keke chiro. Until me the summary ne chiro no me ga share. We see, I'm targeting a particular regime. There are about 35 audit observations, according to the summary. 35 of them. Only 4 relate to your regime.
Now we have
31
audit report.
The audit report covers 2012 to 2018. And in the course of the audit, they have raised 35 issues.
35 issues.
Yeah.
A move for
related to the 2 years of your regime.
And the
31 related to
Mahama regime.
The target was me targeting away. And on one or here no serious, me growth where here on go in Umasi. Cause you Juba, Miss Mina.
Oh, the chief of staff can say,
oh, yeah, she didn't stop anything. I said, yeah, cause now, yeah, Juma. And no ethical die, and ye audit, no, and I thought I should surcharge some people because some payments were not right. First surcharge, went to, for instance, Sly Mensa. If you can remember Sly Mensa, he was the chief executive. So I surcharged him some amount. I surcharged Dr. Ano and Co. some amount.
Okay.
And I surcharged Zoom Lion also for some amount.
So audit reports, on National Health Insurance Authority and the District Assembly, establish a fact and say,
exactly.
Zoom Lion for one job.
For the same service.
Okay.
And
not
totally about 180 something, close to 200
million Ghana cedis.
Yes. But we are calculating interest now. Surcharge in recovery of the money, plus a charge.
Oh, okay.
Because the Supreme Court in Occupy Ghana versus Attorney General explain say there are two things: disallowance and surcharge. Okay. Disallowance is where the Auditor General will officially cancel or disapprove the payment.
Okay.
Then they take the next step to surcharge, and the surcharge is recovery plus a penalty or some additional money for taking government money. And I mean, so now my imagine say I should try and be objective. And he mean to me show when him as a captain who to say now papa with their own to say.
Okay.
So I decided to use the lending rate of Bank of Ghana.
Hey.
It's a basic offer. Say Bank of Ghana, MOSICA, they have a lending rate.
Okay.
So I say, okay, it is offer Bank of Ghana says means they charge you there. I'll take it say wabo this year every. Until I calculate in a see 411 million
Ghana cedis
from the time the monies were paid up to date. No, the Zoom Lion TSC in a medical court.
So yes,
because the law actually says that anybody who is aggrieved can appeal at the High Court.
Okay.
It was within their right. According to the Audit Service Act in Section 17, you have 60 days to do that, actually. So he appealed in a court. A court is also High Court in Ebutiano.
The High Court,
because we brought evidence, judge, documents, I did a district assembly in any. The same documents in the National Health Insurance. And there's the evidence.
The judge said,
Judge said, we know AI into Omungo to Escano. Emma by Juana Zoom Lion appeal to Court of Appeal.
Okay.
And the Court of Appeal, no. I said the Omo and challenge surcharge, say the appeal is because the thing say the jurisdiction of the Auditor General it does not affect a private business.
How?
It stops at government officials.
But
in the ban happen at Court of Appeal say, oh, okay. So now we are talking about interpreting the Constitution and not the mandate of the Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. Oh, okay. So that's how Asake is
exactly. In the Omnico Supreme Court say Supreme Court should interpret. In the Supreme Court. Satam na kaben sana 3 or 4 days be ansana sa leave a yeneba na minim se leave kra eba ntia ko Supreme Court and through my lawyers na ga Supreme Court say you don't need to do any interpretation, and we have drawn the Court of Appeal's attention already. Say in Occupy Ghana versus Attorney General, when they were giving the consequential orders, they said the Auditor General should hold public servants and all other people. So they interpret the person which is in the law. They were supposed to interpret when they say should hold persons accountable. Who are the persons?
Both private and public.
Thank you. And they themselves interpreted the person. And you don't need to interpret it anymore. But Supreme
Court
oh, there be Omenti. And in Ansani, yes, I call leave. And I'm calling me leave.
Tikese Kosise.
And the Supreme Court say, the Auditor General's mandate covers the private sector there. And so you must, the judge did not establish fraud in the case. And so if he had established fraud there, and the mandate of the Auditor General gets activated, And based upon that, they said, no, the mandate does not cover except if the private sector or the private person is fraudulent. Meeting me say, hey, Supreme Court, what kind of judgment now I be osre? Me say ingrofui. But of course, that time now, the current Auditor General, he was acting for me. So he agreed with whatever the Supreme Court said. And so they wrote back to the Court of Appeal, say, the mandate does not cover this because the judge did not establish fraud. And Article 187, Clause 7B. There is no mention of fraud there. It was imported by the Supreme Court. But fortunately, I was not.
That was imported by the Supreme Court.
Yes, to be honest with you, an army officer and the uncounted betum.
What's it?
Because I was ready to challenge them, to tell them. I will beg their permission that I want to speak myself, not my lawyers. I want to speak to them. But fortunately, that I'm not in the office. Because now I was very determined to say, no matter what, I will challenge these guys. Because no more about that. No more sophomore for the
Okay.
Now, and I was really peeved by how they treated the sophomore for one. Okay. Crew and Associates.
That's right.
And Sana Weber. But fortunately, I was not the Auditor General at the time, and it is an office, not a personal thing. So it went and died.
Okay. Tell me what happened. What call office? Yes, you could leave. You then you see a local office. What happened? Tell me that story. You are not about the role of the auditor in nation building.
Local that was the Zoom Lions time, as well as Crow and Associate. The two cases were happening at the same time.
Okay.
But now Crow and Associate was more popular because of Asafo. Now people were aware of the this one. And also the same type of thing in Crofono Ekoye audit. Now, before then, let me explain something. I am among auditor. The Auditor General goes around and be looking into. No, we have institutional arrangement that teams go to do their audit. Until when they do the finding as if Auditor General doesn't know. There be like there are audit offices all over the country. Just like how the police operate. And then you say IGP or Abumusua he is not aware. Until maybe the case is brought to him, he is not even aware. Okay. And this team who went to Ministry of Finance, and audit in 2018, and who payment of about $1 million. Since a man who referred to $1 million Ghana cedis. No, $1 million. $1 million Ghana cedis.
$1 million.
Yes, that's a credit that's all. Over $1 million. Crow and Associates. So the audit question was very simple. Where is the evidence of the work done? Because according to the contract, normally you do work and then they pay you. So where is the evidence? Yes. Now evidence, no monsanka. And I say, okay, let's go back to basics. First and foremost, contract no crowing.
Contractor, you share $1 million. Crow and Associates.
Exactly. Contract away. And on the contract no buy a whole auditors and say I agree there because when Jessica bears 6 months and then I'm sign contract.
Sasa Debbie, $1 million.
Exactly.
Emma Crow and Associates.
Yes.
After 6 months.
And Sana
almost signed contract.
So the contract happened months. I don't know what is exactly 6 months, but after the payment of the money.
Wow.
Okay. And she assume bed. Now contract amosan so procurement process ben amufa so procure because it is part of procurement. Now procurement if you are competitive or restricted tendering or single source. Also single source and say okay. Say single source there approval modi single source no because according to the Public Procurement Act no munya approval from the Public Procurement Board. That's what I can say you should get approval from Public Procurement Authority. Public Procurement Board.
So there's a difference between the board and the authority.
In the Act defines the authority and defines the board as the governing authority of the board.
Okay.
And it is only the board. Ghana
Wabi Hey, Yao!
It's only the board which has that mandate, not the authority.
Okay.
Nipa bebre onso when your public procurement authority approval. Nanse me hu NCA communication be on say now it was in social media. Only they got approval. Me can't say this is a fake approval. Because it is stated there that PPA hereby approves. No, they can't approve. It is the board.
Only the board.
Yes, until the proper approvals. No, Osha, the PPA chief executive writes at the board meeting on this date, board meeting number so approval was given.
Okay.
So he communicates.
So it's not the authority.
Not the authority. It is the board.
Okay.
And he say, where is the approval? And the copy. Satamna case na aye a leak internet or social media. And he copy by and say, oh, authority nini. Do you notice that it is an approval from the PPA, not the board? Obia or Timas, on kind section 40 of the Public Procurement Act. It is clearly stated there, 39, 30, and 39. I think 40 and 41 of the Public Procurement Authority Act. And it should be a board approval. You say, but this one is PPA approval. ABIJ's approval is not the board's approval. So I cannot accept this. That is one. Two, this approval is given after the contract has been signed. Till payment was done, contract signed, approval now get received. Reverse G. They apply reverse G. This approval was given after the contract has been approved. And ironically, given by a chief executive who doesn't have that mandate. It is the board which has the mandate. But the most interesting part, Captain, and he said, the approval was to Kandapa national security, not senior minister.
The approval, no.
The approval, it was even addressed
to the national security minister.
Exactly.
Not the senior
exactly.
minister.
It said the education service, that approval. Now health, Amaso, Edieko.
Hey!
Exactly. So these are two different entities. Now, guys, are you reading the approval? The approval is being given to national security. And I'm saying, okay, so this approval here, but then the evidence of work done, and also here.
Okay.
And also so so they raised the audit
before approval.
And almost sign, want to sign and sign a contract. Yes, sign. Yes, sign contract and sign approval. And approval no crane. You also for there. Now approval to national security.
And I was also correct.
They give us the evidence, so they are not giving it.
Now, almost $1 million.
Almost they were going to collect some money. Now it has been paid by the previous government. That's right. And so. Because under the contract, no. Captain, when say a copy of the approval. 1 hour, some people were paid about $750 an hour.
Please, Chief.
Means be to Google that contract and yes, Google that Crow and Associate. Now 1 hour.
Every hour be a $750.
I think the maximum was about $750. A day 500. No, so for within an hour. Beautiful amounts. Papa with reference Manasseh. He also made a story about it. No, see the president's salary for a man to cry is about somebody's 1 hour 1 hour payment. But when they issued the audit observation, that was January 2018, I remember, they could not provide the evidence of the work done. And in March, they issued the management letter. These are all according to law. Audit na AMRO. Okay. According to Regulation 34 of the Audit Service Regulation, you issue observations on the field. The audit team leader is supposed to issue the observations and receive response. I don't know, 1 year in January 2018. Then I remember in March, the team leader issued the management letter, which again, in accordance with Section 29 of the Audit Service Act, you are supposed to respond within 30 days. And also response number. Until June, and I may issue my audit report to Parliament.
Sure.
Because after 30 days, March, April, May, just say, 30 days, no long time. To June, me issue me a report in the Parliament. Me issue a report in June, Honorable Safumafo, Sanchureme. Me. Say, oh, some crofon, omu ye jumana say for Monsieur Mate. I didn't respond to that letter because now my issue me report every time so I sank out umami nchechiremu any evidence na twom de dada enti manfi ena search charge ne ba na omo say omo ntiase enti omo de court ena omo de court me refi ni lawyer ni di anyway ehun hia ni lawyers na say for national security interest entina ejuma omoye and they couldn't show it to the auditor auditors and so it was for a national interest Mr. Edi. This is the opportunity I was looking for because now me person may establish one point say nobody is exempted from audit, not even the president. We audit the president. We audit the National Audit Security Office in Angasa. So why would not...
sometimes you don't make it public.
Yes, it depends upon the findings.
Okay.
So findings here, what will not cause trouble there.
You don't make it public.
Yes.
So you were looking for that.
I was looking for an opportunity to establish this.
To investigate the national security.
Everybody can be audited. No, we have been auditing them already. But at times there was pushback. Like this is national security issue. We said no. There's nothing like that. Until we served Honorable Safumafo and Korean Associate notice that 2 weeks, if you don't give us the evidence for the work done and answer the other questions, the expenditure will be disallowed and you will be set charge. Anyway, we issue a notice. A copy goes to Attorney General, copy goes to the office of the President.
Almost everybody had a copy.
Then number bia na manfobi say oh ntimi say charge obi you can't ehuna keke you say hey you don't know this guy that just a team adem na kwayim na me ni nkusie ni na nkana azifo na nti nipa da se nipa de me oboa minsro kura enti time no so ye na ye say charge na say on tiase na mo de call court to on de call court so nyamincha de Justice Efia so muno say obisa me say and since the main issue is evidence for work done so catch on say yenko hwehwe adwuma na o ma yenu mu a if you direct them to make it available to will I do it? Let me say they won't do it.
Okay, I say you won't do it.
Yeah, me got through my lawyer say no we won't do it. And I say why? Let me say because you will be setting a bad precedent. Because everybody say captain here be auditing na say it is come and say on studio na we see they disallow na say charge na afi echa na say film you know echa we say oh my studio into brabe here. In that case you are making audit useless, completely useless. So media as far as I'm concerned I finished my work. So it is up to you to say what you to and as a winning to.
Hey.
Yeah. And almost raise the national security issue. And Justice Afia say, almost the national security day, according to the Constitution, Supreme Court na interpret national security issues. Into also board to straight. Pa Supreme Court. And I got that Supreme Court. Supreme Court is beside the first question. So, Auditor General, if we ask you to go and look at the work that the senior minister did, will you do it? Let me say no. Through my lawyer, I say no, I will not. No, so why? Because the audit is completed. And I want you to tell me, under what mandate would the court even do that? Because according to Article 187, Clause 7A, or say, the Auditor General in the performance of his functions under this Constitution and any other law is not under the direction and control of any other person or authority. I think you are part of the authority. You can say that my work is not good, I'm setting it aside. But you can't interfere to say go and do an audit or continue the audit.
Okay.
So I don't think it lied with the Supreme Court.
You told them that?
Through my lawyers, we challenged that. And me and Madam for Justice Jones Doche.
Okay.
He was the one presiding over the case. Okay. It was a court rice. And one of more rice here, chimba. Then you am good in your agree umunim. I try one of Mosamba say. In the wisdom of the Supreme Court, they are directing the audit, the senior minister to give that evidence to the Auditor General. And Auditor General has 10 days to come back to the Supreme Court to tell the Supreme Court, say, whether he's satisfied or he's not satisfied. My lawyer says, sit down, no, sit down. And the
Supreme Court.
Yes. Bad man kasa. Inti Zoom lion dey buy na me ma jisenka. Omusa yes I will stand up and speak.
Hey.
I'll tell them I don't care the consequence. You can even sentence me to death, but I'm going to tell you my peace of mind. But nyamin chadi amaso says that I'm not me will leave until me uncle. In the Supreme Court, Eddie Bayer said that we should go back and do the work, no. Now, Omama me 10 days. 5 days into the 10 days. I was not going to do it. I was going to wait till the 10 days expired, and my colleague just said, no, they were acting unconstitutionally.
About your leave?
No, not about my leave. About the directive for me to go back and do the audit. Okay. They were interfering because I piled up several cases. Supreme Court in Angasa has refused to interfere with Electoral Commission. Their decisions. So I was going to show it to them. That you say Electoral Commission is independent. And the same clause by which you decide not to go and direct the Electoral Commissioner protects me. In fact, Electoral Commissioner didn't put there subject to the Constitution and other law. Auditor General, there's no qualification. He said in the performance of his functions, he's not under the direction and control. Well, admittedly, I know I'm under the control of the law.
That's right.
That one, I'm not saying that anybody can be above the law. I know that. But my partner say, at worst, it is the same law. So how come in this case, now I've got my lawyers to pull out a lot of cases from an EC. So you refuse to direct EC.
Why
are you directing me? Be consistent. Consistency is very important of every profession.
Hey, that would have been damning.
Oh yes, I was ready to go to jail. Mechanical picture said, "I'm very ready." Now I was ready for a candidate for jail, and I was going to go to jail through the Supreme Court. Now I say I'll challenge them publicly, disgrace them, insult them, and they'll put me inside. I was more than ready to do that because Mijini said the judiciary has a very important role to play in any country.
Okay,
and they must be credible, and they must act in ways that people will trust them. But from my personal point of view, I thought they were being inconsistent. And consistency as an accountant, we be accountant is one of our fundamental concepts.
If it's an executive influencer now,
meaning be free say, so being influence you and the media. As far as I'm concerned, you must be consistent.
That's all.
Executive influence, it can come on everybody at all. And that is how it went. And the next day, breaking news, I say, my acting Auditor General, the deputy, has cleared Crew and Associates. So we finished the audit within 24 hours. We say, wow, where fast the power? Meaning, speed is that. Anyway, so that is how it ended. Until one day response, Ekoma Justice Efia said, well, Auditor General is now satisfied with the job. Set you free. So that ended it.
And Tisikana he?
Ashi.
Zoom lion, the other swashi?
Ashi. Almost from wedding. Free.
Wow. Apart from this, challenges Ben in your duty, line of duty as the Auditor General.
Oh, challenges in the baby. You know the Ghanaian mindset or mentality. Bribia yede Jantua any who you know nina sefo no. Ti obi ho mu na classmate bia wo ache wo kan no no pie. Say ekwejo woni say so de menu ye na na call gardens ye na na call kipole ye na na we have an audit issue we say that
you have go for ba home patch.
Oh yes I am funyina
hey
I am funyina and say oh we there you nim so we are right but to say there be the audit now and so adeba kwa manfo ntia say say if you want to do something like that and just say you are spoiling your integrity and they say audit no and sana a bedroom Auditor General anymore. Now it has been established down there because in the course of the audit.
So it is not you.
No, the Auditor General doesn't own the field. Auditor General in Caulfield.
What's your office?
Meet my office. At times, audit Nangasa Kuraminya always says cost because we delegated it to the various branches and units. Yes, we have delegated it. Say you are in charge of the district. So you can continue planning and doing the district audit. You are in charge of the region. You can do a audit there. We are in charge of Ministry of Finance. So there are sectional heads who plan and carry out the audit. They have raised the observation at Uncrophobia Brainy. Into Obama in China was a sweep under the carpet. It's
no more to be cast.
Big catchers or omniums are some way there. Moody woman, so Shana. Okay, dear. Go and tell the auditee. Say observations are omuriziano. Okay. Normally they will say, this is what you should do to correct it. So they normally do what you call recommendations to correct it. And if there are recommendations, go and respond to the recommendation. Say me and I wouldn't mean maybe this is how I can do it. Maybe I'll say to scan it within a week. So meet here, and so 1 week in the annual maybe mama bosome and abosumi no meet here. If you are able to settle it down, they themselves will write it that they have received a satisfactory response. Until they just assemble the and go and deal with at that point. You see, so now the only instances are make us say I was directly involved. Directly involved is when the request comes from government. Okay. To me, say there was a point in time they requested be by say former parliamentarians. Salary arrears be and can say chairku 4 times. That time na a friend say Omanpenny kura na or MP, member of parliament. That's right. Na chief of staff na sifu na members of including former president John Dramani. They were Mahama. Now we MPs. Now allowance be and salary difference be as anke triama omo. Kufo entria. Enti omo de abem se menhwem na yentua ema omo.
No de omo de breo.
Omo de breme directly. Timinsa kan me say me susu e am here research kakra. Now omo research fi say omo research fi say na me accountant general. Na me accountant general sa
Auditor General.
There be before Auditor General na ma jejuma 18 years in accountant general.
Ti abai payment de unim kakra.
Thank you. Before time na me accountant general as a director.
Hey.
And I knew about it. Sa payment na minim hu bibi. And I was actually director of payroll. In the salaries na minim what it was. Nti some number me say, enya die we na President Kufo efiri so ye de come Professor Mills. And our SETI committee headed by Mr. Yamson, Ishmael Yamson.
Professor Ishmael.
Yes, yes. And Yamson's committee had the recommendation eko come President Mills. Emma Ojina so etwemu. And asambe timi go share document and yaminja de me documents. And me throw back to Madam Fruma say yentia. I do you told me today yentia. I know the na enya me staff and the name ya face to face. The audit in the do na some ebi also ebi kura wa mpo wunta nyini be like auditing back could say and the me here but and also babe too many about the use of gate fund money for scholarship for brilliant and needy students. So okay,
MPs BD
exactly. And we say buy no manyeni na mka just na po madam for pa. Ndu pay friend no. To me come office go say minia. Go fear for din, but I'm not sure about this. I say no kre.
Onu confess to you.
I say no kre but he applied. So as long as he is paid, me say, hey, Senate here. Okay. But if you apply that
brilliant but needy students.
Yes. Okay, me say oh no, onye brilliant ana. I'm so definitely we are brilliant. And I say you mean I'm not needy. Let me say it in constituency mention only needy person now but now the answer the same yes 3 years. I'm saying Apuba, you know something. You have not gotten the catch. The law did not only talk about brilliant and needy students. It said for secondary and tertiary education in Ghana. London, Eka Ghana. Minia, yes, Minia. Until the point I'm trying to make here is that you have used the money for the unintended purpose. Oh, say okay, and the report will be issued. The report no by be threatening me, but could people they say, oh, ma'am, 24 hours. I should retract my this.
Why no?
I've forgotten his name.
No, she MP.
Yes. Now that time he was a deputy minister, I think at a Greek or housing or something like that. Night.
Deputy minister, a Greek.
Is it a Greek or health? Or,
yeah, I don't know. Deputy minister Saba, first one here, Akemoda MP. Now Ochro chemistry book. And Kwetu.
Minshad and say a Greek and I say housing, but Google who say he gave me 24 hours.
Okay.
Say I should retract and change the lesson. And me give him call him the bluff. And say you should go ahead. Say me audit Captain Smart. Now say Captain Smart say audit scanner ma papa. Now say scanner enko na ma throw me report. Me say na Captain Smart e ka kire me what offense have I committed to you? I'd rather tell you that you are being used for so. And so you cannot, and so I responded to say that the evidence or the information was obtained from the gate fund. It is not something we cooked ourselves. So I left it there. But it was also one of the very challenging times. Media support to me. It's easy. So that's the long and short of it.
Okay, so we are convinced about I'll protect the public purse.
Yeah.
If you want to make money, go to the public sector.
Exactly.
The ADAS principle.
Yeah.
After we share with you, did you still believe Nanado?
At all.
Oh.
At all. At all. The rhetorics were far higher and greater than the action on the ground. Now, tap to you. I'm Mr. Say, "Who know visa question? Wow, question. So you will see a whole series of cases, allegations, and whatnot. No, on Mangasan Krawa clear before the investigation. Sorry, I can't say anybody who there's an allegation against is guilty.
Okay.
The latest one of Cecilia Dapadi, you see, urging a letter. What was the need for the president to say, "I know you'll be exonerated"? Why should you say that? It preempts the investigation. Okay. I said he is the head of the state. These investigating bodies are all under him. Okay, they are not as independent as the Auditor General is. And he may say who. And you have already put your position publica. But you see, but look at what Martin Amidu told all of us. You know, I was working hand in hand with Martin Amidu.
Okay.
And we shared our frustrations, and I know what he went through. So when he came up with the terminology of mother separator, I was not surprised. So that is it. The rhetorics were far higher than what we have seen on the ground.
Would you ever trust Nanado again if you hear him say, "I am not corrupt"?
No. Oh. He can't even say that. Can you say that today? Na enyamuna mukaze say we penyu tifie na ohwe mankwara na ewe na nkan ye kan na nkawe fo ka hu. Thank you. Nje kan na nkawe fo so ka hu. Ohwe mankwara wi na nka. So ka hu. Come to me kwa. Thank you.
What share with Jumayo as Auditor General Sam that the level of corruption in that to say?
To be honest, now corruption no war. Actually, say me share not only as Auditor General, me share me service during the public service. From 91, I me join a Accountant General, a BC semi-free edumuma. Corruption there never. Only say na amounts na say for necessary.
Okay.
Could be for Gina Waje 1,000 and 20,000, 3,000, and now or they are checking how far. But since you are there, I know I say. Since you are 1,000 now, so for me, create you millions, billions. At times, the amount you know so. Auditor General mention amount and amount for you.
Because I'm saying 20 billion.
What can I say? me free so no. And I say mama call leave no. Audit report will be early here.
That's right.
I almost say 52 billion. Me anga sa me we am see dey we dey adabraka. I know. Me can me see but sike too much. And ni na otwe in a issue rejoinder. Confirming say it is part of the observation. Say hey. I remember say George Winfo, one of the deputy auditor general, in an issue rejoinder, a press release actually. He say hey. 52 billion. And at the end of the day, the new Auditor General said, "The reports are normal air cost. This is, it has escalated in the amount. Say, it's mind-boggling. It's not easy to understand why things are going that way."
If him no more can say could leave, no, Ushia, His Excellency, or friend, no, about why I one person who could leave.
That be free Satam, say menene in share baby, I'm friend so that.
Hey, I'm person who do office near lock your office.
Oh yeah. Now, say Satam na me will leave. Now me ma Ghana for what I say. Who will leave? You have not been sacked from work. When you are on leave, you come to office. It is a common practice. You can come to office to attend meetings or do some things that you need to do. And I was passing by the ministries and I said, I'll come to the office. I think I was going for a copy of my constitution. Okay. Because now I had left my documents behind. And to me, Fred, the acting Auditor General, pulled me and said, I am coming to the office because I want to pick a copy of my constitution.
Okay.
To me, drew her and said, hey, Safana me copy. I had my copy, my secretary also had. To me try my secretaries want to be unconscious and say, assistant, you know.
Yes, it's our local.
Yeah, it's our local. And me try, I say, oh, say, almost is not local. No. I'm say, oh, why would they change the lock? What is the need? Until me call acting Auditor General or Google this and say, why? No, so the board met and they said they want to protect the office. Against who? Are they preventing me from the office or protecting the office? You know, so, well, that was the decision. Say, people may go in there to do some things which may not. Say, we have CCTV camera, we have security, and we have secretary sitting there and everything. Somebody will go into my office. I say, wow. You know, so keen forgotten who somebody's me say that I will be and the enemy. It is true, say they locked the office at the time. Maybe they had known by that time what they wanted to do.
You think, sir, intentionally, no one person will fight corruption?
Me tie papa be no PLO Lumumba.
Yes.
Or see, he misread his terms of reference when he was appointed head of to fight corruption, the head of anti-corruption agency. Me just say it was the same with me. I misread the terms of reference. And he said he thought the terms of reference was for him to fight corruption. But then the terms of reference, the actual thing is you should pretend to fight corruption. But not you should not fight corruption. And that is what I also did. I misread this.
Your terms of reference.
Yes, because Auditor General in terms of reference, and you've been a chairman, it's in the Constitution.
Okay.
The entire Article 187 is a very long one.
So, in Domelevo's point of view,
yes,
you were actually stopped from fighting corruption.
Oh yes, from my point of view, and I wrote that to the president.
Hey,
when the letter came for me to go on leave, I said no, I have a constitutional mandate to issue audit report within 6 months after the end of the financial year. Because of COVID, the report had delayed a bit, so we were in, I think, ending June. It was getting to the end of June. So I can't stop my constitutional lesson and go. But I think, which is my view up to today, that my audits are disturbing you, so you want me to go on leave. And Nana Santibedwe too wrote back to tell me, say, he can forgive me because I'm not a lawyer. My appreciation of the law is not the best thing. Oh, he is there. It's that green document. It is there. So I'm saying, oh, good. Fortunately, now the Supreme Court also doesn't understand the law, so they agree with my position. So that's why I said that I hope in one of the TV stations, I said they should call the Supreme Court to go back to classes and go and learn the law again.
So that's why you said that.
Exactly. So I said, since you said I didn't appreciate the law, that's why I was making that statement. And the Supreme Court has upheld my position. Then please go and give some further legal education to the Supreme Court.
Okay, how many threatening messages or phone calls now?
Minkai the number I checked, I don't know, but it didn't bother me. Normally when they start Makatu, you don't.
Is it do you think say why are you into corruption as so memoir?
To the bit me to us here. Namum said the normalcy econo. And you're fine. That if you look at the trend, it's not the best. Now Emubakwe hammer drink a crapper and he said the cost of acquiring political office has become so huge, said that it contributes a lot to corruption.
Hey,
say, oh yeah,
becoming MP, becoming a minister, becoming
now
a
before you
president.
become an MP, before you become minister, before you become president,
about 5-6 million Ghana cedis.
Thank you. Now says can okofane obi na de born be say and as obi sika na de man. Now, when you become the minister or when you become the president, etc., you have to pay back plus interest.
So acquiring a political office contributes to corruption.
To me, it's serious. And the last time I was speaking somewhere, and I don't remember where, but I was telling them that, look, do you reckon that in the 8 years of being a president or being a minister or being a vice president, you will not have earned even 5 million? Because President Kwafan said 50,000 a month. It will be 4.8 in the 8 years.
8 years.
Okay.
We have been on 5 million now.
And the question I was asking is, former president, unya 60 million now, you say, or the year in a company, unya free. And a vice president, you say 80 million, unya free. That's the reason why I've been calling for lifestyle audit. Here lifestyle audit to say, so what to me, I say it's K and I say it's K, unya free, so that you can tell Ghanaians how you got it.
So you think that the primary we are MPBS was spending
they should account for it. Because look, the country runs a serious risk. Do you know the risk? One, drug peddlers or drug gangs will be funding our politicians. And when they win election, we are dead. I hope that does not materialize. Yes. The next dangerous group, terrorists. You know, there are a lot of terrorist groups in Africa. Almost rough. Also pay 1 billion ground houses. Yeah. All they need is a theft where they can operate. Until you may be creating a safe haven for those type of things. And of course, even the neo-colonial masters. They are also interested in power in our country. Until Captain Smart, Judy, 10 million and 20 million for campaign. We are saying all the things that you are buying should come from our country. Every procurement should be international competitive tender. The last time I was talking about it, I said, a two funny aketichi, cratch for your mem, your mambo for. Hey! Oh, our knowledge is being used to destroy instead of to help. For instance, let me talk about a bit about procurement. What sense does it make to say a nebri say ukoto goods above 10 million? It must be international competitive tendering. 10 million is how many dollars? It's not up to even $1 million. It's about $800,000. It must be international competitive tendering. Now, say international competitive tendering. What is the muzzle of the Ghanaian businessman against that of a Nigerian, against that of South Africa, India, any China, Bermuda? We are lost. So it means you are giving the job to outsiders. What are we doing? We are exporting jobs. That's why we are in the stupid situation we find ourselves. I don't know.
Situation.
Yes. People don't understand it. They think that, look, before you can get value for money, you must do international. I said, who told you that? What is the value for money? Your children have no work to do. You are exporting jobs. And you call it value for money. They look at value for money, especially the procurement specialists. They look at that word from a very narrow perspective.
Okay.
But if you look at from a bigger perspective, it is better to buy this thing plus maybe 10 or 20% from within so that you create jobs, help the economy, than to send it outside. Who can't? Some of them will tell you that that's why the law talks about margin of preference. And I want to address it. I don't know whether you know of margin of preference. Preference, yes. Margin of preference is so per se a free Ghana and as a producing or Ghana. Wait me, I can say I made a margin of preference of 10% at also. And it says say Ghana say the price no a year higher now a 10% there would be my Ghana.
Okay.
Which looks smart, but it's not as smart as your name.
Oh, sir.
It's very daft.
Oh.
Because you will state it in the document, the tender document. Say there is a margin of preference of 10%. China ni emas of the county government, man 50%. And say, okay, then we will give you 50 so you can beat the Ghanaian. And beat him mercilessly. But he will not disclose what his export substitution to you. Ebani Saintina, Captain, Minnesota to Accra, Uko America, Uko Britain, chicken boarding power. But with the Bagana, cheaper than our local one.
That's right.
Because they pay them almost the full cost of it. So the other Bahana is just a profit. Yes. Thank you. Because nobody is substituting it. Now, Obi Ketchero said, today, day and age, no subsidy for agric. Check America how much support they give to the agric. Check all those people who are telling to remove those subsidies. How they support this. Inti it is said here, Ofie, Unkwarani, who's me no Diania, open policy into maybe a gate after a potem Kwarani, now be Amram Bedibi, Ubanzo is 6 months old. Thank you. That is what we are doing. So I've been telling that there is a need for procurement reform. We should do the procurement side that it can create jobs.
Procurement, we should do it in such a way that
it can create jobs,
not to export
not
jobs.
Only in the country, not to export, not only in the country, but even in the local authorities. Okay, for example, every procurement relating to a district must be procured in the district. It will create jobs there. Captain Betima can say, "Many 100,000." May call Azima say, "I have forgotten the place we were mentioning that we went for the Easter. I'm going to open Mangasim." Yes, may call could be a home so that they can get some work to do. Do you know government is the highest buyer in the country? You know that?
Yes.
Government buys a lot. So procurement is a tool that we can use to create jobs. For instance, let me give you one example which beats my mind. It beats my mind, to be honestly with you. Anytime I'm traveling our roads, look at our roads, how bad they are. Okay? And then some say, Nanti Anibia, when will we stop constructing roads? I think the Jesus comes or the work ends. Is that not it?
We are every year, every day.
So are we saying we cannot train Ghanaians to take over this industry? I know the hindering or the limitation factors against funds to get finance. So government can say, look, I'm even putting this money aside, or I'm creating equipment pool, like a plant pool. So we a local contractor. You just come and hire the equipment, go and construct the job. So you don't need that big capital outlay.
That's right. There's a pool of equipment.
Yes. So you just come and hire it. I will pay you. You pay me. Do you understand?
That's right.
The cost of hiring is what you pay me.
That's right.
Then the rest is yours. It will be creating a lot of jobs. So when I see Chinese and etc., I say, hey, that bank goes in the bank. Come in Nkrumah days, we got job 600. It means and then we cannot.
And then la polyclinic here, we're going to be see.
Thank you. So I think we, as a country, it doesn't matter whether Mahama or Baumia or which party wins the election, we may have to rethink procurement. Public procurement is a disaster, from my point of view. Captain, as an Auditor General, let me tell you one thing which is very annoying about public procurement. One more time, no matter what people say, they need the thing, that's why they buy it. Most of the things, they buy it and just keep it there, and it will get rust. Haven't you seen several government buildings that have been abandoned? Some even completed, abandoned and not used. Haven't you seen government vehicles? Abandoned. And not the tip of the iceberg. Stores which are obsolete and being thrown away. And yeah, easy. Because one very silly policy, forgive me.
Silly, go ahead.
Lack of better word.
Don't worry, no, silly is silly.
Ministries, department, and agencies say that, say, a fenoco ne now went to me and spend your budget. Ministry of Finance, Omunfa being Kaho. Ombe Trasso. And getting to November, December, they buy things like mad. So they don't buy the thing because they need it.
Because
the budget must finish.
And yes, our finance minister on to.
Thank you.
October, November, December. No.
They buy things like mad.
Just to waste the resources.
Yes. So I think we might have to. That's why I was doing a procurement audit. Nyamian Chadie. Into report na ma and yes, and they will kill me, they will have slaughtered me. That report, I actually described in that report PPA as a crime scene.
Hey.
Because
so PPA is a crime scene.
Of course, they were condoning, like I'm saying, they are condoning a lot of wrong procurement. Remember, the entire makers and say, one, Maker General said the approvals by the chief executive without that of the board, no, it was not right. Okay, sir.
Sure.
Good. Even the right of the board to approve a procurement request for single source or restricted tender, there are conditions given in the law. They don't just have that right. The right accrues only when you meet those conditions. First, Captain Smart, Nkwane Onipa produces idea, so he's the only person. That's why we want to buy from him.
Okay.
That is one. Two, because of an emergency, yes, you go through procurement process. Three, if you are to cameras, it must be the one you are going to buy must be compatible with them.
Okay.
Until you person called the same place, Ekokoto. And I said, four, national security. There are a lot of conditions stated there. Usher approvers many times they don't tell us which one applies in this case as a result of which they were approved. That's why I was doing the procurement audit.
Oh.
To tell them that one, approvers need to be okra and you will not approve. Two, one approve. So that mandate has not yet been activated because the law gives a condition under which you should give the approval.
Wow.
But honestly, now I wanted to portray a picture for Ghanaians to understand how we were exporting jobs and hurting our economy through international competitive tendering.
Okay. Obetia says, Sabain Bibano Sibe, Auditor General Bima, Obey.
View. So what? Minyo shows are going to be ask assassin.
Debbie, Obey.
Minya.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh. Well,
because man, who say you were a no-nonsense man?
It's
about Ghana first.
I have a saying that never say never. But you have to leave the scene for somebody also to come in. To help my country, yes, in a different capacity. But as Auditor General, beyond there, a bit hard because since you are a too brutal. Oh, since you are a bit too brutal. A bit too brutal. Now, when you say, are you sure? Say, I don't know who is going to win the election. Whoever comes, we like you to audit him. The same thing as Nakufu. The first year when you are auditing the previous person, you will be a good guy. From the second year, and I'm Suzuka, say now I'm above 60. And so the maximum the constitution gives is 2 years.
But you can be given a contract to save the country.
That is 2 years.
Yes. So within the 2 years.
In the first year, no, you are a good friend. Second year, fireworks.
No, I mean it doesn't matter. I'm looking at Ghana.
Well, I agree with you, but I don't even believe that any party will be interested in bringing me back as Auditor General, seeing what has happened in the past.
Okay. I have your near studios, I have your court, but I want yes or no to some of these questions I'm going to ask you.
Go ahead.
Your politicians, though.
Yeah.
Are they corrupt?
Yes.
Okay. Why do you say so?
The evidence is there.
Okay.
And me can be say kind of before opinion or TV or be.
Okay.
So they are condoning it or something like that. Yeah.
Your politicians, see, are they willing to fight corruption?
Even if they are willing, I'm not sure they are willing. Even if they are willing, the circumstance under which they find themselves.
Okay, so are they pretending?
They are pretending. Because Mekai earlier on said, if you spend 5 million, 10 million to become an MP, they are not for the Christmas or for the Easter. So. They will have to recoup. And how do they recoup? You can't recoup if you are doing the genuine thing. That's why I'm saying that Ghanaians, we have to look for a way of making acquiring political office cheaper. And a democracy is nothing Ghanaian. No. It's a universal concept. If you go to some countries, even the next week or the next day there's going to be election, you won't even hear anything. You don't even know that there's going to be election. They give them opportunity to showcase what they have on TV, like you people, radio, and then they create a platform where they can meet the people and answer questions, and that ends it. But see what is going to happen in 3 or 4 months' time. Our streets are going to be littered with a lot of pamphlets and whatnot, etc. It's just too bad. Coming Congress, all those things should be regulated. We should stop it. It's not necessary.
Wow.
So who here poster? You can have a place where you all put your poster and finish. You don't go putting your poster on bridges, on poles, on people's houses, etc. It's indiscipline.
So, what's your auditor? Why in apart from the two, the senior ministers one, and then that of Zoom Lion? They him be now. Who will say, wait dear. Okay.
And I make a no. Mabonti into me can hold some baby procurement audit no.
Okay.
Nanga a year pass, but we leave it there.
I mean, we say a question way. Auditors will be in this country.
Yeah.
If you say, rule in building this country, and they say, and are they allowed? I know you've said a lot. So even the second part will not be too important, but I still have to ask you. Auditors rule, and the Koyombe first will be to me a boa.
Yeah. And it's a well, mine be as a seminar, and as what they call public financial management. There is always audit. Now, audit now, and yet public financial management gumpo, in private sector, say. Ebia wa anchor encouragement war accountant or to two sikana sevoina but branch say afiniko na you appoint another accountant who comes as an auditor na onu be hwese e kwan a ode usika sem fa so no ne kwan mu ana say nya ne kwan mu. So that is the role that the auditors they play in the public sector. Now say auditors betimi anya akukuduro ayo wadwuma say the city a ngebeboa oman pa. Because mpembe breno obi anim say auditor there obeba obehu na wehu ewie no ne nsunsun so ebi obekata so ebi nsusu a obeyi wama eno na akoba say mpembe bre na amanfo entimi emfa omotinye because of the executive influence na wo kano. Because some fear for their jobs. They see, me my Jumane friend say, come back. And I do so and so. He said, when I was Auditor General, I was always giving assurance to my staff. Say, in the course of your audit, remember, I'm with you when you are auditing. As long as you are doing the right thing, I'm with you. And if you run into trouble, I'll be in front of you until they finish me. You are safe. So don't worry. I will take all the bullets. Now, Mikasi Kumasi, anywho, say, I take all the credit for the work that they do. So I must also take the debit as well.
That's right.
So I'm ready to die for them. So Mikasi, there was a day where Openyekese B. Ephraim said he wanted to know who exactly did a particular type of audit. Let me say, Mia. No, so you are the Auditor General, but the team which went on the field, let me say, kind constitutional. So the audit shall be done by the Auditor General. So whatever the person did is not important. The person is not important. He was acting on my behalf. I take all the credit. So I'm ready to take the debit. And so if you have any blue, throw it at me. I say, Daniel, how you do? That's nothing. So amount for the problem we have in our country is Abayajuma from particular. They've taken their work to be like the end of their life. If they lose their work, then their life comes to there's nothing they can do. So people are not ready to stand for the truth. That's what I'll be telling people, that look, the reason why we don't have professionalism in accounting, professionalism in auditing, is because people are afraid of losing their jobs.
Oh.
If people did not care about losing their job like I am.
You open up.
Yes, because me go can who now almost re. Me gajiro almost say yes, yeah, pam. That time now there was news all over that we will sack him like the way we sack Charlotte or say. And I say, who say I care? I don't care. Even if they sack me and I have nothing doing. My father was a farmer in a front place, and the land is there. I'll go and till the land and use it to support the country.
That's all.
So I have things to do with myself. But professionals have become so fearful of losing their positions to the extent say we've compromised profession. Your wakuku down for be pray or memoir and come back to me aye jumama or may see ye. You
audited snakes.
Yeah.
Join Aduku first time.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't remember the details. Only if you had. Was there any problem?
No. I'm told he called you to come and audit him because he wanted to leave.
That man is an exceptional man. He's a different caliber of public servant.
Who? Aduku?
Yes. He extended his hand to me and said, look, I want my period to be audited before I leave. I said, I'm on one pay audit. Who don't pay audit? He's one of the strange public servants that I've come across. And the audit was done. So I don't remember the details, but I remember very well. We met at a certain function, and he said it first. I thought he was joking, and he followed up. So further to our discussion, I want you to audit my period before I exit, so that if there are issues that I must answer, I answer them now instead of later on when I'm at home. And I must say, I must commend him. He's one of the people who I found very exceptional in Ghana. So, I'm bold enough to say, police from Rambes I thought it was something to be commended, and I have a lot of respect for him. He actually did that. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it true, sir, public servants in this room, especially the time and now we Auditor General?
Oh, Muslim.
No, Muslim.
There be me
cutting come Jubilee House.
Yes, sir.
Say, yes, a board meeting. I said, could I not be a phones?
I see.
Now Muslim.
Sir.
Because I said, the woman. I don't know. I mean, like we have to make a 1 million, 200,000. No one can say jai.
Yeah. And my story being now, Madam Fubi, he was Minister of Finance, meant to be money position. Now, he didn't come over and can say, Fadi call this place now or Shemao. No, we come on funny tiani. Another time you raise the issue, why don't you send it there? I told you the last time. Well, me. Third time, stop wasting my time. I've told you what I say. Do you know what it costs to go there, Daniel? Hey, ask Minister of Finance or say, but I've gone there several times. But who in his normal sense will ask money from me?
Who in normal sense will ask money from the Auditor General?
From you. Even just about 2 weeks ago, I was there. Nobody asked me for money. Okay, boss, Daniel, you who?
It's right senses.
Yes. So I don't mean say they think the right thing must be done, and that is one of the key things of auditing in the public sector. What we call deterrence. There must be deterrence. Maka Mpebebre said the reason why corruption as into Ghana and say usually there are no consequences. If you think you can get away with it, why not try it? But if you know you can't get away with it, you don't. No one for Bebre as a Baku Nihom Wakababy. But he came and picked me from my house and we came to the airport. He gave the key to the driver to send his car home. We flew to Heathrow Airport, and the sister came and met us and said she was going somewhere. So he gave the key back to him to drive us to the house where we were at the hotel we were going to. What has changed? I said, I don't know why. He said, the way you are driving this morning is very different from the way you were driving yesterday. What has changed? No, you're even smiling at pedestrians. Only you are smiling, giving them away. But in Ghana, almost 20. So So what has changed? You know, I say, the system.
The system.
What is the system? I say, yes, the system here doesn't tolerate anybody. And what about Ghana? I say, oh, they here and say, well, road down, do you know me? And say, oh, okay, sir, go. I say, but we can try it here. I say, what we crack here? You tried, you know me here. So the system that we have built are not good. I agree very well with Obama when he said we don't need strong members, we need strong systems. Except that he has forgotten that the systems, they don't grow on the field like the grasses grow. It's men who put it there.
That's right.
So we need strong men to build systems. What he inherited in America was built by others before he came. What they are in Britain, any developed economy, if you take them, you see somebody came and put systems in place. So we need people who are bold to defend the right thing and put systems in place.
Finally, what one thing, Nasanka, what you Auditor General, can you want to change? Or even if you have the power, can you change about auditing in this country?
Well, I will not have too much to say about the place except to resource it enough to extend the audit. Because when we say we have audited the government, we just say we have gone everywhere. No, we do what we call risk-based auditing. We look at where we think the risk is high. So there are some institutions, they go for years unaudited. Because schools are all Ghana, how about you auditing now? Hospitals are all Ghana. It's difficult. So we look at the risk base. Kolebu, more money. Okay, then let's go to Kolebu. Or here. So that's what we call the risk base. Okay. But at times, with the Audi, there is no risk. Exactly. So resourcing them to undertake more of the assignment, I think, is necessary. And the last thing I would like to say is that government should desist from creating institutions when others are failing. Okay. See, especially in the fight against corruption. The Auditor General's office is there. Even the CID has a unit that also follow people for committing offenses in that regard. We have SHRAT created by the Constitution. We have Office of the YOCO, Economic and Organized Crime Unit. And now we have OSP. After this, what will we do? We'll create another one.
Definitely.
We keep creating and we are not getting the results. Okay. Captain Smart train him, resource him, and fire him.
That's it.
But we cannot say Captain the papa we have a cano, or say, okay, bring the third one. Or bring the fourth one. Okay. Let me say why I'm against that approach. Corruption, just as wasteful expenditure, deny the citizenry the benefit of public funds. It's not only corruption, wasteful spending. Wasteful spending. Buying SSK unnecessarily. Look at the cost of establishing OSP, just the head office. If they are supposed to roll it out throughout the country. Yeah, because they have to work in the regions and the districts. So why didn't you look at it and say, oh, okay, we already have institutions. Why don't we put this mandate in the hands of YOCO? YOCO already have regions and district offices. So it will not require additional structures and etc. So if there's even additional cost, it will be very marginal. So we must think about this country well, and if we want to get something done, whoever has the mandate to do it, let's assess him. If he's not competent, remove him. Bring the right person, resource the person, instead of creating what in South Africa they call fruitless and wasteful expenditure. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure. That's what we are good at doing. Fruitless and wasteful. I saw that did was an organ.
Pentecost cried into me.
Now, about to me, the Roman Catholic.
Into me. Methodist, Apostolic Assemblies of God.
So our priority is that who? When our children are studying under mango trees and in dilapidated buildings, today's day and age, people are drinking from ponds where animals are also drinking. Our women are still being given birth on the floor. You go to our hospitals, they are eyesore, and that is the priority we have. That's why I like that expression. The first time I came across it, I said, this is good. Fruitless and wasteful expenditure. It must be avoided in this country.
Are you still on leave or you have your sack letter?
I have my sack letter. Didn't you see it on the third of March?
I'm only asking. That's why
I have my sack letter. Yes.
You have your sack letter.
Exactly.
Okay. Now be a triamount.
There be
I won't try.
I'm going to have 2 installments. So still, and do have them. First one, I'm going to try. What happened was that by God's intervention, miraculously, almost releases kind of from finance to accountant general.
Okay.
And accountant general, between accountant general and auditor general, they say they don't know my bank account, so they don't even know me, how to contact me. In this kind of share 2021, the money must be sent back into the.
That's right.
So auditor general send the money back to treasury because also need my bank account number. Now Ekoban is saying last year. And no me call from Public Service Commission. No, so me difference biaba. I say difference of what? No, so me retirement benefits no. I say now your original difference then I go buy. Intimi man they I should give them my bank account. Let me say I'm very wary about money laundering and etc. And I don't just give my bank account. Say, Misika Bedion say, give me the evidence. Say, if I see the source and it's genuine, then I'll give you my details. So then she forwarded a copy of a letter from Minister of Finance, paying the difference.
But not the principal.
The difference. Let me say, So then now I gave her my details and they paid. Then I now said, I wrote them to say, now principal, if I also accountant general and auditor general. Me now for passes so. Because it was some my accountant general for 80 years. And the current auditor general was my deputy throughout. They could not contact me to say that look. And remember, I was being paid as auditor general. And I'm informed my bank account detail assessor. At least a phone call to just say that are you still using the bank account? So
it's that's that.
Debbie. Abide the car.
Yeah, me that say. The about 320 there. Majidi is best friend 1 hour 40 minutes. And I have an announcement so.
Oh, you better.
The about 3. Fancy 320 there.
Can imagine the idea. Enti oyen in such a way say usiswa wunjina wo baabia until you arrive at the industrial city tema okwakoye adwuma you drive back home. That was the idea. Emma companies in as for the companies akese emma na buy. But captain, go back to Tema today. What is supposed to be an